Nāradaya Krishna Krishnaya Bhutale Śrīmade Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nitin Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschat Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Bhutairmahadbhirvyayma bhuvo vibhu Nirmaya shete yadamushu purusha Bhute gunan shodasha shodashatmaka Solam krisishta bhagavan vachamsi me Shri Krishna Sharanam Sharanagatam Katha Amritam Saratatibatam Bhakti Vedanta Marga Panthanam Sarvaloka Rishideva Janna Prasannam Sarvaloka Rishideva Janna Prasannam. Hare Krishna, dear Prabhus and Matatis. So let's continue with where we left off from. So yesterday we covered the base text number 12 from 5th chapter, first canto of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. I'll just read the translations of the previous few verses, starting from text number 10. Those words which do not describe the glories of the Lord, Nayad Vachas Chitrapadam Harer Yasho, who alone can sanctify the atmosphere of the whole universe, Jagat Pavitram Praganita Karhachit, are considered by saintly persons to be live onto a place of pilgrimage or crows, Tadvarisam Tirthamushanti Manasa. Since all perfect persons are inhabitants of transcendental abode, they do not derive any pleasure there. Nayatra hamsaha niramantya usikshayaha. On the other hand, that literature which is full of descriptions of the transcendental glories of the name, fame, forms, pastimes, etc., of the unlimited Supreme Lord is a different creation full of transcendental words directed towards bringing about a revolution in the impious lives of the world's misdirected civilization. Such transcendental literature, even though imperfectly composed, are heard, sung, and accepted by purified men who are thoroughly honest. Tadvag visargo janataga viplavo yasmin pratishlokam abadhavatyapi namani anantasya yashonkitaniya Shrinvanti Gayanti Grinanti Sadhava. Next verse. Knowledge of self-realization, even though free from all material affinity, does not look good if devoid of the conception of infallible God. Achyuta Bhava Varjitam. If it is Achyuta Bhava Varjitam, then it may be spiritual subject matter, but it does not look good and it has very little value. Na shobhate gnanam alam niranjana. It does not give shobha. Look well. What then is the use of fruitive activities which are naturally painful from the very beginning and transient by nature, if they are not utilized for the devotional service of the Lord? So then, all our activities, until and unless that is offered and dedicated to Krishna, what value it is. There is a nice sloka spoken by Shukadeva Goswami in second canto of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. It says, Tapasvino dana parayashasvino manasvino mantra vidasu mangala shemam na vindanti vinayadarpanam tasmai subhadra shavase namo namaha. The tapasvino, one may be a very austere person. Yashasvino, one may be a great worker of distinction. best in his own field of occupation. Manas, one may be a great philosopher. Mantra Vida Sumangalaha. One may be great in reciting Vedas. Sumangala, one may be a great welfare worker. However, Shemam na vindanti vinaya arpanam. Shemam na vindanti. Shemam here, Prabhupada nicely translates as it all tantamounts to zero, no value. Unless we do arpanam, vinaya arpanam, without arpanam of all our work to Krishna, it is all zero, of no value. And how can we dedicate our results to Krishna? We have to know Krishna to dedicate. If we want to dedicate our life to someone, isn't it? First, we have to know that person and be inspired and be attracted to their nature. Then we can dedicate ourselves and have a sense of purpose. So, therefore, in the last line, Shukdev Goswami says, Tasmai Subhadra Shravase Namo Namaha. So Subhadra means, Bhadra means auspicious, Subhadra means extra auspicious. Therefore, hearing about Krishna and his pastimes is extra auspicious. Why? Because by hearing about it, we can do arpanam of our work onto Krishna. We will feel like dedicating our work, ourselves, and everything around us, including our family members, to Krishna. As Bhaktivinoda Thakur very nicely says, Manasa gehete ho jo kishumora arpilu tuva pade Nanda Kishore. O Nanda Kishore, youthful son of Nanda Maharaj, O Krishna, Manasa, my mind, Geha, my household, Deha, my body, all my family members, Arpilu tuva pade Nanda Kishore. I offer it onto your lotus feet. So let's continue with text number 13. Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayam mudiraye. Om namo bhagavate vasudevaya. Om namo bhagavate vasudevaya. Om namo bhagavate vasudevaya. Aho mahabhag Aho mahabhag bhavan namo gadrig suchishrava satyarato drita vrataha urukramasya khilavan bandhamuktaye samadhina nusmaratad vicheshtitam. Translation. So Narad Muni is saying to Vyāsadeva, O Vyāsadeva, your vision is completely perfect. Your good fame is spotless. You are firm in vow and situated in truthfulness. And thus you can think of the pastimes of the Lord in trance for the liberation of people in general from all material bondage. So Narad Muni here is impressing upon Vyāsadeva that you are highly fortunate. Aho, Mahabhaga, highly fortunate. Bhavan, yourself, Amogadrik, you have the perfect vision. You are a perfect seer, Amogadrik. And Suchi, you are spotless. Shravaha, famous. Satya Rataha, you are famous for having taken a vow of truthfulness. Dhrita Vrataha, you are fixed in spiritual qualities. Urukramasya, of the one who performs supernatural activities. God, Akhila, universal. Baddha, bondage. Muktaye, for liberation. So, if by hearing about Krishna, we can dedicate ourselves to Krishna and get liberation, then that means there needs to be a literature which we can read and we can hear people read. And that literature has to be written by someone. So Vyāsadeva is the incarnation, literally incarnation of the Supreme Lord Krishna. And he is inspired by Nārada Muni to write such a sublime literature. And Nārada Muni here is impressing that, oh Vyāsadeva, you are very well qualified to get the people of the material world out of the clutches of entanglement, the bondage, and muktaye, and liberate them by writing the sublime glories, qualities of Krishna. Samadhina, by trance, anusmara, think repeatedly and describe them, tat vicheshtitam, various pastimes of the Lord. Would anyone like to read the paper of this verse?
Yes,
I can try, Prabhuji.
Yes, whoever wants to try, a few devotees.
People in general have a taste for literatures by instinct. They want to hear and read from the authorities something about the unknown. But their taste is exploited by unfortunate literatures which are full of subject matter for satisfaction of the material senses. Such literatures contain different kinds of mundane poems and philosophical speculations, more or less under the influence of Maya, ending in sense gratification. These literatures, though worthless in the true sense of the term, are variously decorated to attract the attention of less intelligent man. Thus, the attracted living entities are more and more entangled in material bondage without hope of liberation for thousands and thousands of generations. Sri Nārada Rishi, being the best among the Vaishnavas, is compassionate towards such unfortunate victims of worthless literatures, and thus he advises Sri Vyāsadeva to compose transcendental literature, which is not only attractive but can also actually bring liberation from all kinds of bondage. Srila Vyāsadeva or his representatives are qualified because they are rightly trained to see things in true perspective. Srila Vyāsadeva and his representatives are pure in thought due to their spiritual enlightenment, fixed in their vows due to their devotional service, and determined to deliver the fallen souls rotting in material activities. The fallen souls are very eager to receive novel informations every day, and the transcendentalist like Vyāsadeva or Nārada can supply such eager people in general with unlimited news from the spiritual world. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is said that the material world is only a small part of the whole creation, and that this earth is only a fragment of the whole material world. Should I continue, Prabhuji?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay. There are thousands and thousands of literary men all over the world, and they have created many, many thousands of literary works for the information of the people in general for thousands and thousands of years. Unfortunately, none of them have brought peace and tranquility on earth. This is due to a spiritual vacuum in those literatures. Therefore, the Vedic literatures, especially the Bhagavad Gita and Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, are specifically recommended to suffering humanity to bring about the desired effect of liberation from the pangs of material civilization, which is eating the vital part of human energy. The Bhagavad Gita is the spoken message.
We can stop there.
Yeah, sure, Prabhuji.
And, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Prabhu.
So it's all about literature. What literature we have access to, and what literature will give us satisfaction. So here, Vyāsadeva, although on spiritual subject matters, he had written many, many literatures, but then still he was not satisfied because he did not, nail it, so to speak, in the Australian slang, as they say. That the crux, the focal point is Krishna, and he missed that. So that's on spiritual part. So let alone the material literatures. There is thousands and thousands of such literatures, as stated by Srila Prabhupada in the purport here. And the whole education system actually is fully polluted and corrupted. Nowhere in the schools or universities, colleges, the message of Bhagavad Gita is given. There's a handful of schools nowadays coming up here in few Western countries that are having Bhagavad Gita as syllabus, as part of their syllabus. But on whole, the vast majority of the educational institution have not, adopted this as their part of curriculum. And also, we see that people are not encouraged to read these literatures. So as Her Grace Bhavani Mataji very nicely gave her own experience for her UPS exams. She had to read so many literatures, but none of them are spiritual literatures. They're only related to material body, mind, material forms, and designations. And so Shukadeva Goswami, at the start of second canto of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, he, in the second shloka, he says that Shrotavyadini Rajendra Ninam Santi Sahasrasaha. Shrotavyadini means the subject matter for speaking and hearing. The divisions of subject matter for speaking and hearing, O King, O Parishit Maharaj, Ninam Santi Sahasrasaha, there are thousands and thousands. However, Apashyatam Atma Tattvam, because they do not relate to the spirit soul, the Atma Tattva, or Krishna, who is the source of the spirit soul. These literatures do nothing, and they only attract persons. Griheshu Grahamedinam. Special mention is given to envious householders. Griheshu Grahamedi. Grahamedi is described as envious householder. Why? Because material subject matters will create an atmosphere of have and have nots, attitudes of competition. He has more than me, I should have more. Anything you can do, I can do better. And in this way, this enviousness, is not only contained within family, goes to extended family. Prabhupada in that paper mentions that that enviousness carries forward from one community to another, from one village to another. One town is against another town fighting. One state is fighting against another state. One country is fighting against another country. This is the root cause of absence of such literatures. But if such literatures are propagated, then we will have this basic knowledge that we are not this body, we are the spirit soul. And the soul in everyone is the same, and the main function of the soul is to glorify the Supreme Lord. And collectively, Samkirtana, if we do that, irrespective of our caste, creed, and color, then the perfection of human life is achieved. But instead, all these literatures only concentrate on how to eat, mate, ahar, nidra, sleep, and defend. That's all it is. Eating, mating, sleeping, defending. And all literatures are around these four things. And they allure our minds and they pollute. Even the education system in such way is corrupted. I remember seeing a nice depiction in a picture format. I may share it sometime. It shows that a boy going into the school, so when he goes into the school, He looks nice, the picture of the boy is there. But when he comes out of the school, the picture is of donkey. He comes as donkey. Why? Because the point of education he has missed. The point of education is to answer these questions. Who am I? I'm spirit soul. Where I've come from. Mamayo Amsha Jiva Loka. I've come from Krishna. I'm a Jiva. What is my duty? My duty is to render devotional service unto Krishna. These three basic questions are not addressed in our schooling system. Therefore, it is not addressed at family level because everyone is in competitive spirit to maximize the material opulences, the material possessions, the material relationships they have, and therefore everything is spoiled. What is the result? The person keeps working day and night keeps working, does not get satisfaction, becomes depressed as Vyāsadeva here is becoming, and ultimately drops dead. Is this what our destination we want to be? This is a question we should ask. And definitely, Srila Prabhupada emphasizes no. One person was, Prabhupada was, I think, coming out of the new Vrindavan farm, and on the side of the road, he asked the driver to stop the car, and he asked, there was a person there, what are you doing? And the person replied, I'm planting potatoes. Prabhupada said, no, I mean, what are you doing with your life? So after reading these purports and these shlokas, this is the question we should ask ourselves. What am I doing with my life? And if our life is not aligned as per the instructions of Nārada Muni in these verses, then we should try hard to align our life for this purpose so that our daily activity is chanting of Hare Krishna mantra, glorifying Krishna, and our consciousness, even while working, is in spirit of Krishna consciousness, is in Krishna. Otherwise, we do the same thing. What is that thing? Shukadeva Goswami continues. Nidraya hriyate naktam. Nighttime, sleeping, vyavasayena vayaha, or in sex indulgence. At daytime, divacharthar deya rajan, kutumba bharane nava. In daytime, working hard like donkeys to maintain kutumba bharane bhava, just family members. And this is this does not befit human life. And he further goes on to say, Deha patya kalatradeshu atma sanyesu asatsu api. We are so attached like a fallible soldier. We are fighting a losing battle to protect ourselves and our family members. Deha, this body, apatya, everything coming from this body, the children, or whatever we have creation, the house, apatya, kalatra, wife, adisu, atma sanyeshu, asatsu api. We think we are the sanyeshu, the soldiers, but asatsu api. But we are fallible soldiers. One day we will lose this battle. Ultimately, when death comes, then of what use is all our work in material sense? He goes on to say, asatsuapi tesham pramattaha nidanam pashyanapi na pashyati. Let us not be like this. Tesham pramattaha nidanam. Pramattaha means insane. What is insanity? Insanity is even after hearing what ought to be doing the same thing again and again. Still again and again rotting in material life and doing the same activity. Tesham pramattaha nidanam. Pashyan apina pashyati. Pashyan means see. Seeing. Although sufficiently experienced, Prabhupada translates, and although we see every day that someone is dying, all their possessions are left Everyone is struggling in material world, but still, even though seeing it, we choose to remain blind. The analogy Prabhupada gives is that the goat, just for a sense of happiness of some green grass, he is eating the green grass. But in front of him is the line of goats. And in the front of the line, the goat is taken to be butchered. And he is seeing that, but just for sake of little bit of green grass, he just stays on there. So similarly, material nature, its job is to allure us, but we have to save ourselves. That is the purpose of human life. And how we can save ourselves? Shukadeva Goswami very nicely goes on to say, Tasmad Bharata Sarvatma Bhagavan Ishvaro Harihi, that we have to recognize that the all-pervading Paramatma, Sarvatma, is Bhagavan, Supreme Personality of Godhead. Ishvaro, Supreme Controller, Harihi, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Hari. And what we have to do, we simply have to Shrotavya Kirtitavyascha. We have to simply hear about him, Kirtitavyascha, glorify him, Smaratavya, we have to remember him. If Ichchata Abhayam, if we want to save ourselves from fear, if we want to become fearless, then we have to take shelter under the Supreme Lord, Krishna. I am taking much time in going in this through these verses slowly, because every verse of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is very important, but these verses particularly are very important because they have been frequently quoted by Srila Prabhupada in his classes. And secondly, my realization also is such that when first I studied these verses and came across these verses, my personal conviction in Krishna consciousness became very strongly grounded. So I hope you all may also experience this by reading Srila Prabhupada's papers and contemplating on this. Yes, Mataji, go ahead where you left from.
The Bhagavad Gita is the spoken message of the Lord himself, recorded by Vyāsadeva, and Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is the transcendental narration of the activities of the same Lord Krishna, which alone can satisfy the hankering desires of the living being for eternal peace and liberation from miseries. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, therefore, is meant for all living beings all over the universe for total liberation from all kinds of material bondages. Such transcendental narrations of the pastimes of the Lord can be described only by liberated souls like Vyāsadeva and his bona fide representatives who are completely merged in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. Only to such devotees do the pastimes of the Lord and their transcendental nature become automatically manifest by dint of devotional service. No one else can either know or describe the acts of the Lord, even if they speculate on the subject for many, many years. The descriptions of the Bhagavatam are so precise and accurate that whatever has been predicted in this great literature about 5,000 years ago is now exactly happening. Therefore, the vision of the author comprehends past, present, and future. Such liberated persons as Vyāsadeva are perfect not only by the power of vision and wisdom, but also in oral reception, in thinking, feeling, and all other sense activities. A liberated person possesses perfect senses, and with perfect senses only can one serve the sense proprietor, Hrishikesh, Sri Krishna, the personality of Godhead. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, therefore, is the perfect description of the all-perfect personality of Godhead by all-perfect personality Srila Vyāsadeva, the compiler of the Vedas.
Thank you so much, Mataji. So Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is perfect because it is about the all-perfect Supreme Personality of Godhead, and it is compiled by Vyāsadeva, who is all-perfect. In this place it is described, he is the greatly fortunate word Mahabhaga. He is Amogha Drik, whose vision is perfect. He is a perfect seer. He is Suchi Shrabaha, spotless and famous. For Satyavrataha, having taken vow of truthfulness. Only such a person can compose such literature as this. This literature is not mythology. Tadeva Satyam, it is truth. Tadyuheva Mangalam, it is auspicious. Tadeva Punyam, it is the only piety. Therefore, let's take shelter of Krishna in form of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam to purify our minds, our intelligence, our consciousness, and ultimately let our spirit souls bathe in the supreme nectar of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, which will provide love of Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhus and Matajis. Let's continue this discussion tomorrow. Tomorrow's verse is very nice, one of my favorite verses. So I'm looking forward to see you all tomorrow morning as well. Jai. Granthrat Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki Jai. Śrīla Prabhupada ki Jai. Have a wonderful Krishna conscious day. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.